It's your girl Kandid with Kayla, and I'm back with another freaking video. Did you miss me? Because y'all already know I missed y'all, but y'all know why I'm so hyped right now. Do y'all know why I am so hyped right now? We hit 500 subscribers. Yeah. We hit 500 subscribers. Y'all, I was finna dab, but there's like out of style, so I just kept doing the arm roll thing. I don't know why I did that, y'all, but I'm just very excited. I'm so happy. Thank y'all so much for subscribing, for coming and watching my videos every time I drop them. I appreciate y'all so much. If you're here right now and you're new to this channel, you have not subscribed, go ahead and hit that big red button, because what are you waiting for? Go ahead and join the fam. Everybody else is doing it. You know what I'm saying? Now, as y'all can see in the title, we're gonna be looking at another Mrballen video. I have not watched this video yet, but it said it was a horrific accident caught on live, and it was gonna show the footage, so I was like, duh, my viewers want to see that. So here we are, we're getting ready to react to this Mrballen video. Trigger warning, this is gonna have some graphic content, so if that's something that you're not into, I don't know what kind of graphic content, it just says that it's gonna be some graphic stuff, so maybe show some blood or some gore or something, I don't know. But if you don't want to see that, click off this video right now. I'm so sorry, just go click on another video, because I got plenty of other stuff for y'all to watch that don't have this kind of stuff. Let me stop talking though. Let's get into today's video.
On January 27, 1908, a 34-year-old handcuffed man walked out from behind the curtain to a cheering crowd inside of a theater in St. Louis, Missouri. This was going to be this man.
I don't know if y'all can hear that noise in the background. Somebody's screaming outside. If y'all new to this channel, then y'all don't know I live downtown Atlanta, and it is busy on Friday nights. I don't know what's going on outside, but just don't mind that, y'all.
Man's first ever live performance, but he did not seem nervous. Next to this man on stage was this comically oversized milk can that was filled to the brim with water. Once the audience had stopped clapping and had calmed down and taken their seats, this man on stage turned to face this milk can and then climbed up this small ladder and then lowered himself feet first into this can, and as he did, his body displaced water from the can, causing it to spill over onto the stage. And then once almost all of his lower half was submerged in water and the audience could only see his face, this man looked over at his assistants in the wings of this theater and kind of gestured to them that he was ready to start. And so the assistants come running out into the middle of the stage, and they immediately close the lid of this milk can over this guy, pushing his head down into the water. And so as the audience is gasping and collectively holding their breath, the assistants proceed to lock this lid with 6 different locks around the top, and then they wheeled over this cabinet that kind of collapsed around the can, so it was totally out of view.
I'm gonna just say this right now. I would have freaked all the way out if somebody put me in a can and closed me in there with water. I'm gonna say this. Magicians get all the clout, but magicians' assistants, they need some kind of credit, because magicians' assistants really go through whatever, and they really risk their lives. Like, child, please, you have to pay me a good amount of money for me to do this.
For this audience, they had never seen anything like this before.
I bet.
And so immediately they all began murmuring and whispering to each other, wondering how this guy is going to survive what he's doing. But 2 minutes after that lid had been sealed, that 34-year-old man emerged from behind the cabinet with his hands open wide, so he wasn't handcuffed, totally unharmed. And then the cabinet was moved aside, and the audience could see the lid of this milk can was still locked. During his lifetime, nobody could ever figure out how the great magician Harry Houdini had escaped that milk can. These dangerous stunts made Harry...
How y'all think he escaped the milk can? I know they said nobody in his lifetime could figure it out. Have they figured it out? If they have figured it out, can y'all drop down in the comments and tell me how you escaped the milk can? But right now, I can't quite understand how you get out of that, because your girl would have just been freaking out.
Extremely famous, and it's why we still know him today, nearly 100 years after his death. But it wasn't just that he was able to successfully perform these stunts, it was his attitude while he performed these stunts that made him so notable. He really just came off as being totally fearless, that he was willing to do just about any stunt. But that wasn't actually true. There was one stunt that Harry was absolutely terrified of. Now,
okay.
Very disturbing news.
What y'all think the stunt gonna be? Maybe the saw someone in half. That's pretty creepy.
Would eventually
that was an
work up the
intense
courage
trailer
to attempt this particular stunt, but while he was doing it, he panicked and he had to be rescued by his assistants. And after that, he never tried it again. And for decades, nobody else tried it either. Because I mean, if Harry Houdini can't perform this stunt, then certainly no one else can either. But in 1990, a daring 32-year-old man named Joe Burrus decided he would be the person who would finally conquer this infamous stunt. Joe was a small-time
I don't want to be the one, but I'm going to be the one. Look at Joe mustache, y'all. Just look at Joe. Let's just take a little moment and look at Joe. Why Joe got his legs spread open that wide? Why? Just Joe. What you got going on, Joe?
I'm children's magician in Fresno, California, but deep
you
down,
ain't doing magic
he
for my
always
child.
believed that someday he would be the next Harry Houdini. In fact, he would actually tell his family that not only would he be the next Harry Houdini, but he would be even better than Harry Houdini. And so that year, he decided it was finally time to make that dream a reality. And so he saw performing this infamous stunt as a way to make that happen. So on Halloween night of that year, so October 31st, Joe, adorned in his white tuxedo, along with his 2 young sons and his parents, they arrive at Blackbeard's Family Fun Center, which was an amusement park in Fresno, California. The family hopped out of the white limousine that Joe had arranged to bring them there, and they began walking across the parking lot to this big crowd of people. And when this big crowd of people saw Joe walking towards them, they all began to cheer. Joe's stunt that he was about to perform that night had been very heavily advertised, mostly by Joe, and so it had become this spectacle in Fresno. It was going to be aired live on TV while he was doing it, and it was going to be broadcast on a radio.
I just want to stop
after Joe
real
and his
quick. I know y'all like, girl, stop stopping. But this is my channel. Y'all can't tell me what to do. Duh. No, I'm just playing. But not really. Listen, Mr. Ballen is the best storyteller. Like, seriously. I mean, who tells stories better than Mr. Ballen? This is so engaging, and I'm so ready to see what's going to happen.
Family make
That's
it over
all.
to
I
this
just have to
big
give Mr.
crowd.
Ballen his
Joe
flowers.
walks to the front and he climbs up on this impromptu
Okay, like
stage,
Sue.
and he gives this impassioned speech to his audience about how he's going to be the one who takes
boy
on
in
this stunt and
Fresno,
becomes the
in the
next
country.
Harry Houdini. And then afterwards, he looks over at his assistants, all these guys that are around him, and he gestures to them that he's ready to begin. And so with all these TV cameras rolling, the assistants walk up to Joe and they begin shackling his wrists, and they put these chains around his body, and then they lifted him up and put him inside of the see-through plastic coffin.
Put the
and then this
shackles
coffin
on
was
my feet
lowered
so I
into
can
the 7-foot
dance.
pre-dug hole that was right nearby. Once Joe gave the signal that he was ready to go, they would fill this hole in, and the stunt that he would perform would be to escape being buried alive. Houdini had attempted this by being buried under 6 feet of dirt, and he had managed to get out of his coffin, but then he just could not get.
How did he get out of a coffin 6 feet under? Why would you even let somebody bury you 6 feet under? I would start panicking as soon as the dirt start coming down. As soon as the coffin closed, as soon as I sit in the coffin, panic stricken, I would lose my mind.
Through the dirt.
Have a heart attack.
Panic, and had it not been for his assistants literally reaching into the dirt and pulling him out, Houdini would have died.
Oh,
Joe apparently
okay. So
a
he really
year
didn't make
earlier
it out,
had
too.
attempted some sort of practice run of this stunt. It was not the full amount of dirt. It was some smaller amount of dirt, and he had managed to get out. And so he was really confident in himself. And so for this big televised event, he had decided to really up the ante and make sure it was clear he was not only as good as Houdini, but better than Houdini. And so he was going to have 3 feet of dirt put on his coffin first, and then 4 feet of wet cement put in on top of that. Many people, when they heard this plan, both the TV personalities, the radio personalities, onlookers, they said this was a terrible idea and you shouldn't do it.
Well, at
But
least
Joe
they didn't
was
say
extremely confident
do
and
it.
brushed them off and said, I know what I'm doing.
You know, Houdini failed at this and he was only using dirt.
Once Joe was in his
Well, that was
coffin,
the face of a person who knew that they just effed up. Like, bruh, if Houdini failed and he did dirt and you trying to be the next Houdini, meaning you're not better than Houdini currently, why would you be going under dirt and cement? Shackled. Why would you do that? What is going on in the minds of some humans? Really, just, I don't understand.
and at the bottom of the 7-foot hole, he looked up at his assistants standing over the grave waiting for a signal, and he gave it to them and kind of shouted up to them that he was ready. And so his team very excitedly began shoveling dirt into the hole. But after only a couple of minutes, when less than a couple of feet had been put in the hole, they heard Joe yelling out from inside of the coffin. And so everything stopped, the staff jumped in, and they pulled the dirt out until they could finally get the lid of the coffin off. And they found Joe. He was alive, but he was very shaken up, and he kind of sat up and said, yeah, the chain around my neck is too tight. You got to readjust the chain. Now, all these onlookers at this event, they heard Joe say this, and they saw him, and their read on this situation was not that his neck chain was too tight, but rather, it looks like Joe might have bitten off more than he can chew. That this stunt is way more dangerous, and maybe he's realizing that, and he's looking for excuses to not do the stunt.
He
And so
should.
the onlookers, they didn't try to egg him on to do it anyways. They started feeling apprehension too, and so everybody who was there began telling Joe, hey man, get out, don't do this now. This is a really bad idea. It's not worth it. The chain's too tight. That's a sign.
If the whole crowd is telling you, like, it's one thing if your intuition is saying don't do something, and that should be enough. Your intuition should be enough. But if the crowd is also saying don't do it, like, you know, crowds usually be foolish. People like to see people do something stupid. So if a crowd is telling you don't do it and your intuition saying don't do it, baby, if it walk like a duck and it quack like a duck, it's probably a
Don't do
duck.
it. Don't get back in. But Joe, after kind of
Come on,
collecting
Joe.
himself, told the group that he was totally fine, that it was really just the neck chain that was the only issue, and he demanded his staff put that chain back around his neck after they loosen it up, and then put him back in the coffin and fill it in. And so eventually his staff, taking cues from him, said, okay, and they got his neck chain readjusted, and they put him back in the coffin, they chained him back up again, they closed the lid, and once again he gave the signal that he was ready to start. And so a very apprehensive crowd watched as the dirt went back in, and after 3 feet of dirt were in the
And he
hole,
in a glass
the cement truck
coffin?
came over and poured 4 feet of wet cement on top of the dirt. And then after this hole had been completely filled in, the onlookers, which included Joe's 2 young sons and his parents,
Oh, no.
they kind of moved in and got right up against this grave and were looking straight down at the top, waiting for Joe to come out again. But as they're watching this hole and as they're filming this hole, all of the cement in the hole suddenly drops about a foot. What had happened was the nearly 15,000 pounds of dirt and wet cement sitting on top of this coffin had finally caused the lid to break, and in an instant, all of the dirt and cement poured into the coffin, surrounding Joe completely. He was truly buried alive. Onlookers immediately
Oh
jumped
my
into action and
God.
did their best to try to dig Joe out, but it took them 30 minutes to finally reach him, and when they did, he was already dead. Joe had ironically died on the exact 64th anniversary of Houdini's death. After an investigation,
What?
it was determined that Joe had not tested the strength of his plastic coffin against the weight of the wet cement. He'd only tested it against dirt, because that was the
Bro.
one he had done the year earlier. He had done it under dirt, and it worked. Joe had also not taken into account that cement dries from the bottom up. So even if Joe had managed to get out of the coffin and make his way through the first 3 feet of dirt that was right on top of the coffin, he most likely would have been trapped under the hardened cement layer.
You realize that
Oh my God, this was terrible.
at a lower elevation, so it's going to be hard. You mean it hardens at the lower part? I thought it started at the top. No, it hardens. No. In fact, I did.
Joe, I want to feel bad for you so bad, but it's like, y'all, I keep touching my ear because y'all know I got this little headphone in. I want to be like, I really want to feel bad for Joe, but it's just like, bro, when you play stupid games, you win stupid prizes. How you gonna not test the weight of the concrete on the thing? How are you gonna not know that concrete dry from the bottom going up, and you supposed to know everything about your stunt, about your trick? Did he think that he was a warlock? Come on, dog.
This is no magic trick.
This was a doomed mission from the start, but because Joe was so confident in himself and his ability to do the stunt, no one stopped him.
He thought Houdini was one of the great escape artists, and he wanted to be better than Houdini.
That's crazy.
And he was close.
So that's going to do it, guys. If you found the secret...
That is crazy, y'all. I wasn't expecting that ending, and to see the actual cement collapsing in. That wasn't even graphic. It wasn't graphic, but it was. It's just like, dang, you know somebody just died under there. Like, I don't know. That was crazy to me because I just wasn't expecting it to go there. I knew something tragic was gonna happen, but I wasn't thinking that's how that was gonna go. I thought that he was just gonna get trapped under there, you know, maybe suffocate or just something like that was gonna happen. But I didn't think that the cement, well, I never even thought about the cement collapsing. I mean, the coffin collapsing under the cement. Y'all, that was crazy. That was a good one. Every video Mr. Ballen drop is a good one, but that was really good, a good quick video. What did y'all think about that? Would y'all have even attempted to do that trick? Even if, just say you were a magician, would you have attempted to do that? Like, I just don't think any human being with common sense should try to do. Like, just use your noodle. That was crazy, all right? Anyway, thank you guys for watching. If you're still watching to the end, thank you so much. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. Make sure you like this video. Make sure you please like this video. Give it a thumbs up, okay? That matters. It really matters. So I need y'all not to just view these videos. Give them thumbs up too, okay? Send it to a friend, tell a friend, and tell a friend. And y'all come meet me on the next video. Until next time, I will see you guys later. Thanks for 500 subscribers and peace.